My son Riley has autism, not leprosy. He is 6 years old. My so-called friends who have kids also have kids' parties. Not one invite, not one. Think about that whilst you go and yourselves. You have any idea how hurtful that is? Just for the record, in future, don't bother. He's not an afterthought. He's my every thought. That's a very powerful, very powerful post.
Yeah.
What led you to that moment?
I think it was a build-up of, it's like what the post said, he's 6 years old, and I think in the entirety of his life he's been invited to possibly one christening, and that's about it, apart from his classmates from
Does
his
it upset him?
school at Bentondine. Does it upset him? I'm not sure if he's not quite aware of it, but it's not an excuse because he isn't aware of it, that he can't
leave him out.
Yeah.
So tell me, Christine, what's life living with Riley like? Because he has got autism. He's the youngest of 3 brothers. He goes to a specialist school where he gets on brilliantly and he's doing really well. But how does it affect him then?
Well, Riley, our lives are really chaotic, and I think a lot of the problem is, as parents of an autistic child, we kind of fall off the radar a little bit.
Right.
Our social lives are, you know, the bins go out more than us, and kind of we don't have childminders queuing up to look after Riley because some of his behaviours are quite difficult. But, I mean, Riley's non-verbal as well, so for us as parents, we need people to be more accepting of autistic children. Riley loves a party. He's sociable. He'll play alongside you. He may not look at you, but, you know, he wants to be involved and he wants to go to these things.
Well, and they're friends. These are really good friends of yours. You've known them for a long time, and they were the brunt of this particular post, although you say it was for everyone.
The straw, basically, that brought the camel's back at the weekend. So I wasn't particularly calling individuals out. It was just everybody, you know, like.
Yeah.
But they said in their defence, they said they didn't think that he would be able to cope. And you say, possibly. Let us decide.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the message, is just ask, isn't it? We're best placed to know what Riley's limitations are. If we think he can't handle it, we may come for 5 minutes and then disappear. But at least we've been part of that group.
And is that really what this is about at the bottom? Behind this, behind everything, is that really all of us just need to have a bit of more understanding, greater empathy of what other people, what other families' situations are and what they're going through. Yeah,
I mean, on a daily basis, you know, we face judgment, whether it's like a day out somewhere or even just everyday chore, like going to the shops or whatever, you know. If Riley decides that he wants to go left when you want to go right, and there's a scene, you can see people, you know, like. And they're judging your child and they're judging you as a parent.
Because they just assume you're bad parents that can't control your kid.
But it has a really negative effect on our older son, Ellis, he's absolutely, like, devastated and he's embarrassed, basically by other people's reactions.
Yeah.
You know,
he's 11, isn't he, Ellis?
He's 11.
And Alex is 20.
Oh.
Yeah.
What has been the response from your friend group when you were so vocal?
Positive.
Yeah?
I haven't had anything negative back. So hopefully, by doing that, the message has got out there, you know. And hopefully, if it can do some good for families in similar situations, then that's great.
But the greater message worldwide as well, because this has, I mean, you put a post on your Facebook, you retweet it, and suddenly it's gone around the world.
Well, I've blogged about Riley for a long time, just daily struggles and kind of, you know, this is what our life looks like, and kind of be a little bit less judgmental and a little bit more inclusive. And so I have a a Twitter account for that, and we didn't expect that to happen. You know, this huge sweary rant that Shane did is not something that Shane would usually do. He's very quiet and quite reserved.
But it shocked the family, didn't it?
Yes.
It did, yeah.
He got into trouble a little bit.
You'll end up having no friends.
But what's happened is we've had such a positive response from around the world. I mean, Riley's been invited to go out on Harley-Davidson rides. He's been invited to children's parties all over the world. Even Kirstie Alley.
I mean,
From
this
Cheers.
is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Really
Yeah. And just because they're a little bit different, that there isn't any need to exclude these kids. We need to have a good look at them and understand. You know, Riley's, you know, obviously he's my child. I love him to bits. But, you know, there's some fantastic kids out there that should be, and people would benefit from having them in their lives.
Well, it teaches also future independence.
It does,
Of course it does, yeah.
Well, that's obviously, if you speak to any parent of an autistic child, it's probably one of their biggest fears. What happens when we're not here?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they're not independent, they haven't built up relationships throughout their childhood and throughout their adult life because of being excluded, then they're very isolated.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a very, very powerful message, and it has struck a massive chord worldwide. So well done to you.
Thank
for
you
having
very
the
much.
Do
bravery
send all
to
the
write
kids
it.
our love, especially.
I will do.
We will, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.